Hey, hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Hope you're all doing really well out there, and just like me, you feel, I know I said this before, but now I really feel it, that the summer is just here. It's just on the cusp of it, because it's been a bit of a roller coaster when it comes to the weather here in the UK. So one day it's winter, the other one it's already summer again, and then we're back to winter and all that. But yeah, now just recently I felt that things are getting a bit lighter. I can feel the summer is really coming, and I hope you feel the same. Well, that's assuming that you're on the same hemisphere as me, because if you're on another one, you might be looking forward to winter, or at least winter is coming. You might not be looking forward to it. But wherever you are, I hope you're all doing really well. Yeah, and thank you for tuning in to my YouTube channel. I'm back with yet another review for a new release or a new record. Yeah, it's been quite a lot of those recently here on my channel, but I promise you I do other content as well. It just happens to be a lot of reviews of new records recently. But I see that as a positive thing, because that means there's a lot of great records being released at this point in time, at least in my opinion. So yeah, just great all around. And the record or the release that I'm going to talk about today, it's a cover of a song that was actually released in 1987. And it was meant for a soundtrack for a film called Summer School. And Summer School happens to be one of my favorite comedies. I haven't seen it for a couple of years now, but when it came out when I was living in Sweden, I do believe, if I'm not misremembering things, it came out straight to video back then. And a very good friend of mine, Jimmy, and I, we watched this over and over again. It was basically on repeat. We loved this movie. And this brought back a lot of memories now when I did some research for this video. And that is the E.G. Daily song Mind Over Matter that was included on this soundtrack. This is just a brilliant, brilliant pop song with a brilliant voice from E.G. Daily and an equally brilliant production from Stock, Aitken and Waterman. Yes, that was the production trio behind this one. And like I said, it ended up on the soundtrack for Summer School, but it was also released as a single in the US at the time, and it did fairly well. I looked it up, and it actually peaked at the US Billboard Hot Dance Club Play. That's a long sentence. In number 7. And also on the Billboard Hot Dance single sales, it peaked at number 17. So it did fairly well in the US, and so it should. It's a great, great pop song with just the right amount of high energy to it. Yeah. I love this one. And I do believe it was a year after, in 1988, when it was released in Europe, or at least in the UK, because I went on a trip to London that year, and I remember picking up this single by E.G. Daily. And speaking of charts, it actually charted in UK as well, but not as good. On the UK single chart, it peaked at number 96. What a shame. What happened to people's taste in music, really? I wonder. Yeah, so yeah, I picked this one up. Sadly, no longer in my collection. I had it on a 7-inch, but I gave away a bunch of my 7-inches in the late 90s, and it must have just been part of that thing that I gave away. Over the years, I forgot about this song. It never really popped up anywhere for me. Naturally, at least. So not even a week ago, there was an announcement that there was a new single coming out from Project K. He said, new singles out, it's me and Magenta Soulstar, and we have a new song out called Mind Over Matter. And I was like, Mind Over Matter? Could it be? And I was blown away. They brought it back to life in 2025. And here it is, Project K featuring Magenta Soulstar, Mind Over Matter. Yeah, but before I start talking about this release, I want to mention something that was on Project K's website. And it does state that the E.G. Daily track for Mind Over Matter never been available on streaming services. And that might be an explanation to why I forgot about this song over the years. Because love it or hate it, we live by streaming services today. We watch things through streaming services. We're listening to things through streaming services. When I'm at home, I listen to a lot of physical media. But when I'm out and about and traveling to and from work, I'm listening to my Spotify playlists that are done. And, from time to time it pops up like, well, since you included this artist on your playlist, you might like this one. And over the years, I've been very pleasantly surprised when they recommended something like, oh yeah, that one. I nearly forgot that one. I need to include it. But that never happened to E.G. Daily's Mind Over Matter. And now we have a possible explanation to why I might have forgot about it. Yeah, we're all controlled by streaming services today. Anyhow, so back to this record. So what Project K wanted to do with this was to do it in the same vein as the original recording. And you might say, well, duh, it is a cover. Well, I'm talking about the original recording of this one. Because in the production stages of doing the soundtrack album for Summer School, they had Debbie Harry lend her vocals to Mind Over Matter. Yes, the Debbie Harry of Blondie fame. It was recorded and, never came to fruition when it came to being put on the soundtrack because of some, what I assume, legal troubles with the record company. It was shelved. They called in E.G. Daily, who did a great work on the track, and that one was released, as we know. But what Project K wanted to do was to go back to that original recording, to not necessarily replicate it, but to honor it, really. And, of course, Debbie Harry is a very different voice from E.G. Daily's voice. Both great voices, but Debbie Harry, more rockier, rougher voice, perhaps. Yeah, they lend different nuances to the song. And you might say to yourself now as well, how do you know? Well, if you look around from where you are at the moment, you might discover that original recording with Debbie Harry. There is no other way to say this. They did a hell of a job with this one. This one really deserves a lot of place. Wherever you are, clubs, pubs, radio, or streaming services, wherever you're listening to music, this deserves to be played a lot. And when it comes to the voice on Magenta, it's absolutely stellar. A bit akin to Debbie Harry, of course, because that was the intention of this. Very powerful voice. I wouldn't say more powerful than Debbie Harry, really. Very soulful, very beautiful voice. I just love her voice on this one. And the production, what Project K did with this one is just stellar. It's a nod, of course, to the 80s production sound of stock Aitken Waterman, with those glistening synths, those wonderful arpeggios, and the banging drum machines and all of that. But it's also cranked up to 11 for the clubs of 2025, I think. So, and this is not really a record made for you to sit down and contemplate things. No, this is made for you to move. If you're in a club, you'll dance to it. If you're out walking, you'll walk even faster and feel the love just flowing through your body, really. I think that's a good summary, because that's what I feel. It is a really, really good record, in my opinion. And I want to say a couple of words about Project K, because that is a recent acquaintance of mine when it comes to the music. Because I believe this is his first solo project, where he did all of the things, or the production of it at least. And because previously he's done a lot of remixes. I just discovered him recently when I bought the RSD mixes from Kim Wilde. I did a review of it here on my channel. And I said in that review, I really admire the Project K remix, because he brought the disco to that Kim Wilde track. And Project K himself actually wrote down in the comments for that video and said thank you, you, and he said, I also done some other remixes if you're interested of Kim Wilde. So from that point on, I started delving further and further down into that Project K history of his remixing, and he's done a lot of great remixes, not only for Kim Wilde, for so many other artists. And please go and check out his channel. I will have a link down in the description for his YouTube channel, where you can find a lot of these mega mixes and things like that that he's been doing. Whenever there is something that I really love, I try to get a physical format of it, and this one was no exception. Thankfully, it was on a physical format, on a CD single from Energize Records. And I just have to say something about Energize Records, because that was a label I never heard of before. How could I miss this one? Because it turns out they've been active since the early 90s. They've been releasing great music, they have great artists, but for some reason, just flew right over my head. But hey, better late than never. Yeah, so I'm really thankful that I found Energize Records, which this one is released on, and I actually bought a couple of other records as well, and I'm super pleased. So I'm gonna keep buying some more records from Energize Records. Really great one. And speaking of this record, I love the cover design of this one. Really colorful, nice. The picture is probably from the video, which, by the way, you have to go and check out if you haven't already. It's just has that energy to it. That high energy just flows throughout the video and the graphics and the images. Yeah, it's just a great, great energetic video. And yeah, like I said, CD single. The CD singles, the others that I bought, all came in the same outer sleeve here. This nice soft plastic outer sleeve with this flap, so you can actually close it. And inside, of course, we have the record itself, the CD. This is what it looks like. And inside there is this thick cardstock as well. So it's not your normal CD card where you can actually put the CD inside. And I don't mind that at all, because, hey, this is as good of a way to store a CD, in my opinion. So a bit of a unique way of doing it. And yeah, really nicely printed, sturdy cardstock. And on the back here we got the track listing, of course, some credits and some nice images again from the video. And with the track listing we get 5 tracks, 5 different mixes of Mind Over Matter. So it all starts out with a single mix. I assume it's the same mix that we hear in the video. I couldn't hear any differences really. And then we have the extended mix as well, and a dub mix. Really appreciated that one. And a house mix and an instrumental. So it's fully loaded with great mixes. I have nothing to complain about of any of these mixes. But one of them stood out more than the others for me, and that was the house mix. I think it's really, really good. A really good mix of this track. And this is also on streaming services. I found it on Spotify, so I listened to it while I was waiting for this one to pop into my mailbox. And the thing with the streaming tracks is that I think there are three of them. But when it comes to the house mix, for example, because I think it was on streaming, it's not the full-length house mix at all. The only way you can actually get the full-length mix is to buy this one. And like I said, there's only 3 of them on streaming services, so you will get 2 additional tracks here as well, or mixes. So I think that's a brilliant strategy, really, especially for smaller companies or independent labels and things like that. There's an incentive for people who really love it to, like, oh yeah, I'm going to order it because I really love that and I want the other versions. Brilliant, brilliant strategy. I think they did the right thing. So absolutely support your independent artist. I usually go through the artist web stores if they have any and order them from there. That way well, at least I think they will get a bigger portion of the money from the sales of the records. Yeah. So please go and check out Energize Records. Yeah, so that was my review of Project K featuring Magenta Soulstar and the single Mind Over Matter. Wonderful one. And please go and check out the links that I put down in the description, not only for Energize Records, which I just mentioned, but also Magenta Soulstar's own webpage and Project K's webpage, along with some YouTube links as well. So please do that. But yeah, thank you once again for watching this video with me. I will be back soon, who knows, with some more reviews. You never know where a new record that I love will pop up from, or it will be something completely different. Who knows? But one thing is for sure, I'll be back soon. And until then, you all take care of yourself. And as usual, a very heartfelt adieu.